Sooner or later, you're going to come up against a bully on your project. It's usually someone who has some authority and likes to wield it to make everyone's life miserable. When that happens, you need to stop that behavior immediately. The thing about bullies is that if you let them persist, their behavior gets worse and worse with every encounter. So, better to nip it in the bud right away. I usually start the process by telling them, look, I'll be happy to go out to the parking lot and do backflips to make you happy, but I'm not going to let you treat me like that. The thing about bullies is they like easy targets. A lot of times, just politely letting them know that you're not going to put up with their nonsense will be enough to send them looking for a new victim. If he's a slow learner and continues his abuse, on your next encounter, while he's in the middle of his power grab, take one step forward. People are supposed to run from bullies, so when you step forward, it'll take him out of his game. Usually it confuses them, and of course all bullies have heard of that one smaller guy that kicked the stuffing out of a much larger opponent, and it will set him to thinking. Next, while he's still trying to puzzle things out, you need to pay him a very sincere insult. Not a direct insult. It needs to be something that could be construed as a sincere concern, but might also be an insult. Since he won't know which it is, he'll be really confused. Something like, man, do you feel okay? Because you look like shit today. Then just smile and give him a half laugh like, huh. That will tend him more towards believing it's an insult, but because you seem to be truly concerned about him, he won't know how to react. If he gets angry, you need to pour on a little more sincerity. Just tell him, I'm serious, man. You don't look well. Why don't you sit down for a minute? You see, bullies like to pick on easy victims. If they know that every time they pick on you, they're risking embarrassment in front of other workers, they're going to wander off and find a new victim. If your bully is a real slow learner, you may have to go next level on him. Now, about 20 years ago, I was a foreman on a school project, and I had a young apprentice on my crew. And this guy was a hothead. He would just as soon kick your butt as tell you good morning. But I tried to run a calm job site, and I treated him well, maybe for the first time in his life. And so he was trying very hard to, improve his social skills, let's say. One day he came to me and he said, Dennis, that superintendent, the general contractor superintendent, keeps treating me really badly. So I took him through these steps right here. And he didn't get any results. So one day he went off on the guy. And the guy came down into the basement where I was working to confront me because he knew he was on my crew and started yelling at me. And I figured, well, I knew that my apprentice had already been through all of those steps, so I didn't see any reason to go through them with him again. So I just told him, look, you need to shut up and get the hell out of my basement before I kick your ass. Well, that set him off, and he said, I'm going to call your office right now and tell them what you just did. And I said, well, would you like me to dial the number for you? And he went stomping up the stairs and apparently went to his office and called my boss. Of course, I got a call after that. I really didn't care. It was the first project that I'd run for this company. And, when it comes to that type of behavior, somebody's going to fix it, or I don't want to be there anyway. So, into the story is, the boss came down to the job site. Apparently, they knew the guy was a jerk. He'd been a jerk on other jobs. No one had ever confronted him. And basically begged me to stick around and don't leave. So, I know this conflicts with my lesson from yesterday, which is, don't ever let your relationship deteriorate to the point that you lose the ability to communicate. But, there's exceptions to every rule. And sometimes, when you're dealing with a bully, no matter what it takes, the behavior has to stop. So if you have to involve your company and his company or whoever, you can't go on letting a person treat you like that, because it'll just get worse and worse and worse. So that's my tip on dealing with bullies. A lot of times those steps above that I went through, those solve the problem pretty quickly. And everybody can go on and have a happy, day at your job site. But if it comes down to it, you might have to go right to the final level on it.